From finding hidden treasures to climbing the highest points to finding convoys of private military, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is the adventure to go on if you are looking for the cinematic experience of action and adventure. Built up from the previous 3 games, it will pull you in with its story even if you are new to it, or if you are an experienced adventurer. So with that, I'm Coconut Colibri, and let me tell you why this is one of my all-time favorite games and why you should play it with limited or unlimited time. Coming out originally on PlayStation 4, all the way in 2016, Uncharted 4 pushed the original hardware to its limits, being built by the developers of Naughty Dog, one of the few developers known for mastering the performance of Sony consoles. The game was later mastered for the PlayStation 5 console and soon adapted for the PC market as well. Even though the game originally came out 9 years ago, its graphics are still outstanding for today's standards, and from a visual standpoint are missing only the latest ray tracing features that honestly aren't missed here, as the game's visual quality has been dialed to perfection, with its tight enclosed spaces being highly detailed. For example, all the tombs and buildings you will be going through, or all the huge open-ended environments like Madagascar, islands in the ocean, or jungles that you will be traversing, making them feel alive and not missing any of the detail in any of the scenery. You might be saying by now, we get it. The game is a treat for the eyes and it is available for a good range of hardware to play on. But what about the most important thing, the gameplay? Is it any fun to play? Yes, even though Uncharted 4's split of gameplay to cutscenes is much more in favor for the movie portion compared to the other games in the franchise, which at first might not sound so good as it sends the message of the game not really having a lot of meaningful gameplay in it and mainly being focused on the story part, which is partially true, being the send-off title for the franchise, and is completely not a problem because of how the game's cutscenes seamlessly blend into the gameplay, making it the MVP of superglue in between the puzzles, traversing, and shootouts, keeping you, the player, involved at all time. So let's look at all these things a bit more individually before we get to the cake of this cherry of gameplay. Either way, the gameplay consists of mainly 3 things. First being traversing, aka getting from point A to point B, which will mainly focus on climbing basically anything in the game, showcasing many beautiful sceneries, and also oftentimes moving the conversations amongst characters forward and giving setups for next areas of gameplay. The mechanic itself of climbing is quite basic and really intuitive, playing off visual cues of Nathan extending his arms towards where you want to go or jump. There are also plenty of instances where there are multiple different ways to climb to different areas. Also different from the previous titles is the addition of the rope that can be used not just as a traversal tool but also as a combat tool, giving you some proper action moments. All in all, the traversing part is quite a hefty part of the gameplay, but it doesn't really feel that way on first playthrough, emphasis on first, because of the exploration aspect and the amount of quite meaningful and joke dialogue you get, pulling you just deeper into that adventurer mindset. Second big mechanic would be the puzzles of the different tombs and dungeons you will unravel throughout your playthrough, which have been done quite tastefully, having the right amount of difficulty, giving you just enough information for completion, while still giving you that feeling of the light bulb turning on above your head when you do figure them out eventually. And last but not least, for the gameplay, it's all the action, baby. I would say there are 4 types of action moments in the game. There's small ones with a few enemies while traversing. You will usually have these encounters while climbing or going somewhere, like from area A to area B, basically mixing some action into the traversing. Second would be mid-sized with more enemies, outpost type, maybe like a little building, type of gameplay moments where you have to clear out that area. You can also sneak by these areas with the built-in stealth mechanics like hiding in tall grass, climbing out of enemy sightline, etc. There isn't really much to the stealth in this game, but it is there, just so you know. Third would be the large size. It's basically an all-out shootout. Usually this will happen at like some spectacle moments, you know, chapter ending scenes. It's like boom, everything's exploding, there's a 500 billion enemies coming your way, and you're like swinging from the rope, shooting everybody's moms and everything. You're killing everybody, man. But that's not it. We also got a fourth type, and the fourth type is the convoy battles, which is basically the large-sized encounter, but also it combines vehicles, so you're on the move, jumping from vehicle to vehicle, obliterating everybody. So that would be the gameplay. Overall, the gameplay of Uncharted 4 is nothing special, but it has been tuned to perfection. Nothing is too much, too less, or done wrong. Anybody can pick this game up and enjoy it. Nathan will move properly where the player wants him to move. The gunplay feels good and responsive. Also, there are multiple difficulty and accessibility options that can be adjusted quite easily for any player of any skill level. So, thumbs up on that. With that, let's get into the next boy. And the next boy is basically the cake of this cherry. The gameplay being the cherry on the top of the cake, and the cake being the story. Before I begin on the story part of the game, I would like to mention that there will be light spoilers, but nothing that would ruin your playthrough, as most of these things are unveiled early in the game. I would like to just mention them for better context. And with that said, let's get into the story. Being the send-off to the franchise, a huge focus of Uncharted 4 is Nathan Drake's story and the setup to its end, a thief's end. As mentioned before, out of all the Uncharted games, this one has the largest time spent on cutscenes and the story. And man, is it done masterfully. The game starts off with a boat chase scene showing you where the game will lead you before putting you into the very beginning and the roots of the problem that Nathan will be facing in the future. The story problem / catalyst being his brother Sam. After the boat sequence, you will see their childhood relationship and how much Nathan doesn't want to lose his brother and stay with him.
He's well, really well, but I gotta leave town for a little bit.
What's a little bit?
Like a year at the most, and then I'll be back before you even know it, all right?
You're bailing on me.
Come on, don't be so dramatic.
What, so it wasn't bad enough to leave me in that place? How could you do this to me, Sam?
Which is short-lived, as in the following chapter where they work on the same job in finding a particular type of treasure, Henry Avery's gunship worth millions of dollars, but the job goes south because of their third partner, Rafe, being short-tempered.
Any of you ever cross me,
which leads to a prison escape where allegedly Sam dies.
Sam, no. No, you hold on! Hold on!
After this, the game puts you in retired Nathan Drake's shoes from previous 3 games, with a callback to the first game where he finds something underwater. Except instead of treasure like in the first game, it's just copper wiring. This is the build-up for the second problem of the story, which is our main character longing for that feeling of adventure, but also understanding the dangers of it and not wanting to endanger the life he has. In the same chapter, you are put through a regular evening of Nathan's life with his wife, where you subtly are shown him zoning out and once again playfully remembering his past.
See ya. Still got it.
But even with him longing for adventure and life-risking events, he can't allow himself to do anything like that because of his life now, as there is nothing that would give him the excuse for that until the catalyst and the excuse arrives at his door. Sam and his life being on the line. And with his life on the line, we get introduced to the third problem, which is Nathan not telling about this to Elena, his wife, not wanting to involve her with his dangerous past that is becoming his present. With all these different problems, the story of Uncharted 4 is built amazingly, as although the game's main plot is getting to the pirate treasure, it also heavily discusses family, friends, trust, loyalty, the balance of chasing dreams and reality, and knowing when the price is right so you don't lose everything on the way of getting something that might not be worth it. In this regard, Uncharted 4 gives the story a good balance of action, emotion, and some really impactful quiet moments, giving you, the player, not only the feeling of amazement through action, but also room to think and breathe in everything that has happened, good or bad. Last but not least, I would like to touch on the sound design. Music has been composed by Henry Jackman and is beautifully balanced between the game's main theme that goes throughout the game since the first game in the franchise and the piratey treasure hunt theme that is accompanying it. So in general, the music fits the cutscenes and gameplay moments beautifully. Sound design in general is top-notch with a huge emphasis on voice acting, once again boosting those already impactful story moments even more. Explosions have a nice boom to them, and guns sound adequate, but a bit generic in my opinion. And with that said, I think you should be ready to go on this adventure. I would recommend playing it on PlayStation 5 with the Legacy of Thieves version, as it also includes the DLC of another franchise character, Chloe Fraser, as the main character. So you basically get 2-in-1 deal. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be free with a PlayStation Plus thing or whatever it was called. I don't remember. It was one of those PlayStation Plus things. With that said, I hope you'll go on this adventure yourself, and feel free to come back and tell me how was it for you. For those who have already played Uncharted games, tell me which is your favorite. Or maybe if it's not Uncharted games that you like, what is your action adventure go-to? Please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.